Right, this is the second of two videos on transforming the sine and cosine function. This one I want to look at the vertical translation. So I have again these two functions. We looked at A in a previous video. I'm going to skip B and C for right now, and I'm going to focus on D. D has a special name called the sinusoid axis. So that's as you'll see in the graph, that's the line that cuts the graph in half horizontally. So when plotting this is usually the easiest thing to do. You can plot this line first, and then the rest of the graph kind of follows that line. If I have my sine function, sine of theta, again I have these values. If I subtract 2 from each of those, so sine theta minus 2, sine of 0 is 0, minus 2 is a negative 2, and across here I've just subtracted 2 from each of those numbers to get these numbers. So I've just subtracted 2. What effect does that have on the graph? Okay, so I've taken all of these graphs. Here's my sine function. This is a half of a cycle of the sine function. I've taken each of these points and I moved them down 2 units. This goes from here to here, here to here. All of them have been moved down 2 units. So the graph has the effect of taking the sine function and moving it down 2 units. And if you look, this line here again is this line, y equals negative 2 is the horizontal line that cuts the graph in half, and that's called the sinusoid axis. What happens in cosine? If I add 2 to each of these, what happens? 1 plus 2 is 3, 0.86 plus 2 is 2.86, etc. So I've just added 2 to all those values. What effect does that have on the graph? Takes all of these points and moves them up 2 units. I have the same angle, they've just been shifted up 2 units. So instead of going through 1, shifts up 2 and goes to 2. Okay, here's my function again. Y equals cosine theta plus 2. And if the horizontal line, y equals this number, is called the sinusoid axis, and that cuts the graph in half horizontally. Okay, so it'll be a maximum here and be a minimum here, and these two distances are the same. So that's what the vertical translation does. It moves the graph up or down. Then the y equals this number, whatever d is the sinusoid axis.